Hi, my name is Michael Hicks, and this week we are talking about the city pair analysis for our aggregate company. So, on-demand air travel, why do we want it? Well, it saves us time and it increases our productivity. We don't have to worry about waiting at long security checkpoints in the airport because we can just get on our plane and go. Um, since it's a smaller aircraft and it's a private aircraft, that gives us access to smaller airfields that are closer to our destinations. So that would cut down on ground travel times, which would increase our productivity at the sites, and it also allows us to go to multiple sites in one day. With the lease or purchase of an aircraft, that would also give us a secure environment for our teams to do more sensitive work and discuss more sensitive information, because everybody that's on the aircraft is supposed to be there and we don't have to worry about prying eyes or ears. Little travel history on the company. In the past year, the COO has traveled roughly 752 hours. In a more graspable frame, that's 31 days of travel. The company has essentially paid a 1 month salary to the COO for traveling. They've also had to foot the bill for roughly 2 months of room and board as well. Now, with the Acton prospect that we're looking at acquiring, that would increase the travel time of the COO to 877 hours a year and 63 nights away from home. That's a considerable amount of time in the air and away from their family. Now, the company as a whole, we've also done a lot of traveling. 114,000 miles this year, and with the addition of the Afton prospect, that would bump us up to just about 120,000 miles annually. So I've looked over a few aircraft and I've come up with a turboprop and a jet aircraft that I feel would be good choices for consideration for the company. No, not this one. I'm sorry, that was on the list. It got in there somehow. It's a freighter, it's $100 million, and it's primarily used for smuggling, not something that we want to present to our clients. I've actually found that the Pilatus PC-12 and the Cessna Citation M2, they're both comparable in price range, and they both have a 6+1 seating configuration. Well, we're going to most likely have an in-house aviation department. The +1 is the unoccupied seat in the cockpit, so that would leave us with 6 passenger seats in the back of the aircraft. So for the most part, they're pretty close in stats. They're both roughly the same price. They both have similar ranges. Where they differ is their speed, their time, and their operating costs. The Pilatus has a slower speed at 285 knots. The 600 nautical mile trip range, I've chosen that because it's roughly the same. 600 nautical miles is roughly the distance between Springfield, Tennessee, and the new Afrin prospect. Take the Pilatus about 2 hours and 16 minutes to get there, and it has an hourly operating cost of roughly $2,200. The Citation, on the other hand, has a cruising speed of 401 knots, and it could make that trip in an hour and 38 minutes. While it is a little bit faster, it's also more expensive. The operating cost for the Citation is $3,300. However, we would be using the Citation for fewer hours annually than we would the Pilatus. So it all depends upon preference. Do we want to get there faster and spend a little bit more money with less hours used? Or do we want to get there a little bit slower, spend less money, but use the aircraft more? It would all depend upon either personal choice or what the company can afford as a monthly basis. So the on-demand air travel versus airline air travel. You can see here that on the left is the trip times and overnight stays for the airline. On the right is the trip time and overnight stays for on-demand. You can see just at a glance that the airline travel is exceedingly high, 752 hours for the year. On-demand would knock that down to 154 hours. That's a lot less time spent in the air. That's a lot of saved time and a lot of increased productivity and a lot more potential for revenue generation. The overnight stays for the airline, once again, 55 nights. That's almost 2 months worth of overnight stays. Whereas in on-demand travel, be about 7 nights. So I would rather spend 1 week away from home than 2 months. Not only does that create a better family dynamic for anybody who's traveling, it also decreases the amount spent by the company, which in turn can increase our revenue or just save us money. So thank you for your time. I appreciate your consideration, and I hope this information will help you reach a final decision on which aircraft you would like to move forward with. Thank you.